Iran has warned the United States against any attack, saying Tehran would strike back against Israel and regional US military targets. Iran's government is intensifying a crackdown on protests against a severe economic crisis. More than 200 people have been arrested. Rallies have been taking place in towns and cities across the country, with demonstrators setting fire to buildings. The Attorney General has warned that those involved in the unrest could face the death penalty. Meanwhile, the internet and phone lines have mostly been cut since Thursday, but some people are managing to post videos of the rallies online. The protest began over the soaring cost of living and plunging value of the currency. Tohid Asadi is joining us now live from Tehran. We've got the Iranian police chief, Mr. Raddan, saying the level of confrontation with rioters has been stepped up. That's all coming through from state media. What can you tell us about the latest developments?
Well, speaking of the latest developments and speaking of the statements that we have been hearing from the Iranian officials, we can say that they're trying, in a sense, to draw a line between protesters and what they called rioters, or what the Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei came out to call saboteurs. They're saying that they understand the situation, the complexities related to the economic difficulties people are facing, and on that, the Speaker of the Parliament, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, came out today to say that we understand and we recognize the right of people to take part in protests, but meanwhile we heard strong words from him when it comes to the United States and the Israelis. He said that we are in the war, quote unquote, with the US and Israel at four fronts. He said economic, cognitive, military, and terrorism. Also, there was a sort of threat that we heard in his language. He said that in case of any attack to Iran, Israeli territories, US bases, and ships in the region are going to be our legitimate targets. This is a new level of escalation, rhetorically at least, that we have been hearing from Iranian officials. He moved on to say that this is a message to the US allies as well in the region to avoid any kind of miscalculation. And that comes after we heard relatively similar statements. For instance, the National Security Council of the country came out to say that it recognizes it as an American-Israeli plot to turn the protests into violence and instability. And all in all, it comes in the context where we hear statements from former and present American officials about the possibility of US intervention, something that the Iranian officials are saying in case that happens, that's going to run the risk of further escalation.
A bit of a strange question, but how worried are Iranian authorities about what's going on the streets of Iran?
Speaking of the latest developments, I can say that it's now more than 2 weeks that we have been witnessing protests across the country, but Thursday night was a little bit different since we saw presence of more people in different neighborhoods in the capital. In some cases, the unrest flared up into violence, leading to confrontation between security forces and protesters. And also, we saw instances of violent behavior, both from protesters who decided to throw trash bins into the streets and security forces who were trying to control them. Tehran's mayor says that government buildings, public transportation vehicles, mosques, and banks were damaged. Also, we know that right now, as we are speaking, there are at least couple of funerals going on in Jazeera, in Urumia, for the security forces who were killed. We know that a number of them, even though the exact number is not out, both when it comes to security forces and rioters or protesters.
Tohid Asadi, thank you very much indeed for joining us there.
Don't miss out, get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.